14 years after leaving the corridors of power as a governor, he remains relevant in Nigerian politics. What am I talking about? An astute politician, a pro-democracy activist, a former governor of Lagos State, and the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a person that is seriously causing controversy in Nigerian politics. Is a man you need to know. His birthday, his 69th birthday was celebrated some days ago, and we had diverse dignitaries present at this occasion. The likes of the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, and other dignitaries were present there. But what's so significant about this birthday? It was a colloquium, organized in honor of this great man. But why did Tinubu take his birthday to the north? What does Tinubu represent? Is there any strategy behind him taking that birthday to the northern part of the country? Or is it a way of luring the north to support him for the 2023 presidential ambition he has? All right, we'll be talking about this on today's edition of Pundit. And apart from that, the Vice President of the country, Yemi Osinbajo, has warned and advised separatists to bring down their weapons and power, and support Nigeria to move to the greater heights. All right, in the studio with me, I have two intellectuals. Of course, you know them. They are constant faces on Pundit. One of them is a man you always watch on Bystanders at Newsstanders, a popular online newspaper review program, Mr. Matthew Oluku. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I have Elijah
Ayodele.
Ayodele. You're welcome.
It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
All right, good to see you. After a long period of time, we are back on Pundit again.
We thank God. All right. It's the mercy of God.
All right, it's the mercy of God. All right, all these stories together will be treating after this short break. I'll be right back. Gentlemen, we are here again. We are here again to dig it out.
Yes. It's always good to be here.
Always good to be
here.
here.
And this is a place to be.
All right. State of the nation. We've been talking about insecurity, talking about inflation and all of that. But this time around, we are looking at the 69th birthday of the Lagos big, giant politician, talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, how would you describe Tinubu? There is a man people respect a lot, and when you look at him, he has paid his own dues. He has carved a niche for himself in the political terrain of Nigeria. How would you describe it in your own words?
Thank you very much. Matthew is the name once more. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Just like every other politician, Tinubu is a typical Nigerian politician. I think what stands him out is the way he manages humanity. Because to a great extent, he has been able to build a political empire in Lagos State. Not just Lagos State. Recently, he has consolidated power in the southwest part of the country. And as if that is not enough, his presence is fast being registered in the north central, northeast, and northwest. I have even seen some person drumming support for him in the south. But having said that, I think looking at Tinubu as a person, looking at the colloquium that was organized in his honor in Kano State, and looking at his intention, though he have not actually made it any pronouncement whether he's running or not, but his body language speaks volume to that effect. I think he's contesting by our standard. Then I think I want to look at it from two perspectives.
Okay.
One is the way it is, the reality on ground. Then secondly is my own position when it comes to issues of this nature. Looking at Tinubu as a person and looking at Nigerian scenario, I think Tinubu is a man to beat in that election, anytime, any day. Whether at the level of primary election, within his own political party, or at the level of general election. When you look at all the indices, all the factors that determines who win an election in Nigeria, I think most of them is to his advantage. Let's see the little we can itemize.
Okay.
Look at resources. He has gotten enormous resources to throw around. And in Nigerian electioneering campaign, resources is a major determinant of what you get when it comes to win an election in Nigeria. Legitimately, you need resources to run your campaign in the media houses, logistic, and all of that. Then let's look at the area he comes from. He's from the southwest part of western part of the country, and southwest is a major stakeholder in this project of Nigeria. So on that basis, he is well positioned to contend with any other person from any other part of the country. More so as he have almost total control of the political class in this same southwest. Having looked at that, you look at the political party where he is currently.
Okay.
APC or the All Progressive Congress is the party at the federal level and even in Lagos State. Then look at what power of incumbency does in Nigerian election. It's unfortunate anyway that in most cases people use it in a way to circumvent the law and they still perpetuating themselves into power. So if you are looking at the ability of him deploying that strength, I think it's an advantage to him. Then again, if you look at his foot soldiers, take it or you leave it, he have empowered so many people. So on that basis, he have so many lieutenants in the field who will be ready to work for him. Then if I'm to say what my own perspective, what I'm saying does not represent my opinion. I'm only trying to analyze the reality on ground. Because for me, I think the elders should take the back seat and allow the youth to pilot the affairs of this country come 2023 and beyond. Okay. I'm saying this particularly because this country, these elders have collectively failed us. I am not singling out any individual to say he has failed us. But what I'm saying is, if up to 15 years after this last democracy, we cannot still boast of a functional health sector, we cannot boast of a good economy, we cannot boast of a good oil sector, we still import refined products from abroad, we still take our crude out of the country and bring back refined products. So it tells you that almost all sphere of life, these governments upon government have failed us. And this government is being led by these same old politicians. They continue recycling themselves. We have been shouting and talking repeatedly, continuously about restructuring, about true federalism. But it seems as if nobody is ready to allow us have that true federalism. So what I'm trying to say in essence is this is without prejudice to Tinubu's ambition, perhaps Atiku's ambition, or even a Jonathan ambition. By our standard, they are entitled to contest. They have the right to contest as accorded to them by the Constitution. But what I'm saying is they should allow the youth to have a shot at that presidency. Okay. And particularly, I'm not saying the youth on their own should know that it is not, they are not likely to get it on a platter of gold. Power, whether physically or spiritually, you enforce it. Nobody gives it to you on a platter of gold. In essence, what the youth should do is there should be a replica of that strength, that vigor, that tenacity they exhibited during that NSAS. When it comes to election, when INEC would throw open the window of registration of eligible voters,
okay.
the youth should utilize that opportunity and ensure that they register in their numbers. And when it comes to voting, they should deploy that numerical strength, because by our standard, the youth represent a larger population of this country. And when it comes to even rigging, it is even the youth that these elders deploy to rig election.
Now we will come back to that. Quickly to Elijah Ayodele. Elijah, there is a master strategist who has dominated the Lagos political sphere. And looking at him, is not someone you can just push aside when it comes to the modern politics today in Nigeria. Now, he has an ambition to go for 2023 presidency. The question is, as a Yoruba man, would you embrace him? And apart from you, would Yorubas as a whole embrace him? Why I'm saying this is, you could see of recent that some groups are springing up, calling for secession, calling for disintegration. Now, how do you think Tinubu would escape this?
Tinubu is a political phenomenon and a true Democrat who at all time played an outstanding role in the struggle for democracy in Nigeria, has taken time to build his political dynasty. When it comes to Yoruba vying for presidency as far as Nigeria is concerned historically, though Tinubu hasn't come out to declare that he's going to throw his heart into the ring. In his last outing where he addressed issues of presidency, he said he was committed to helping the president in putting Nigeria in a better shape. You might be reading signs and body language, which I do not. But perhaps if Tinubu is to come out to say, I want to give it a shot, let's go back a little bit to the history.
Okay.
It was the Yoruba people that betrayed the sage, late Chief Obafemi Awolowo in 1963. 30 years after, in 1993, Bashorun, MK Abiola of blessed memory, was also betrayed by his own kinsmen, the Yoruba people. Fast forwarding to 2023, which is going to be another 30 years interval. If Tinubu, with what he has done for the Yoruba race, democratically, in terms of giving a roadmap for development in Southwest, I'm afraid of the position of the Yoruba people. They will tell you, go, we are behind you. But then you look back, you see that you are alone. But if by what he has done, what he has put on ground, is the only man to beat, because his tentacles has been spread across the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. He has full soldiers everywhere. He has been committed into making men to become what perhaps they never thought of becoming in life politically. And in one word, is a mentor of great men politically in Nigeria. Talking of 2023, if Tinubu is declaring to run for presidency, I think until then, before we can see this is what is going to happen, but based on what has been on ground, and his refusal to collapse as the last man standing then is the reason APC is in government today. Take it or leave it. Every other man collapsed their structures. The few ones went to an extinction, but he stood and maintained his position in his zones. Don't forget, in 2007, he started reclaiming the state that was taken over by PDP back to AC, when he crossed from AD to AC, where he got the name in 2003. Okola won the governor, the last man standing, when others fell to the antics of PDP. So he stood his ground, he built his people. You can remember, see, Tinubu has all it takes to beat any man. He's a man that doesn't, he fights you not to kill you, but to align you. He's a man that rules without sentiment. Have you forgotten his cabinet? That Lai Mohammed, his first chief of staff, was from Kwara State, and he was appointed in Lagos here. Dila Laki, the commissioner for information, is from Ekiti State. One of his SA, Femila Lane, is from Oyo. Why Ralph Aregbesola, who served as commissioner for 8 years under him in charge of works, is from Osun State. You have Sunday Dari, who was his PA and chief of staff, today minister in the federal cabinet. Babatunde Raji Fashola was his chief of staff between 2003 and 2007. He eventually became the governor of Lagos for another 8 years. Yeah. Today, a powerful minister in the cabinet of this present government, APC. And he was so instrumental in the formation of this very party. That does not mean that he doesn't have his adversaries there. But he's going to, he understands politics more than virtually everyone. How many of those people that emerged as governor in 1999 are still relevant? Except the few ones that are associated to him. You can remind me of any one of them. From northwest to northeast, north central to south, southeast and southwest. It's the only man standing. When it comes, you mention secession. There is no place in our constitution that supported secession. The only place we have something close to it is in Article 2 of our constitution. And as far as Nigeria is concerned, till today, except Bakassi on territorial issues, okay, there's nowhere, no part of the country has ever been ceded away. So, in the first place, it is not in our constitution, except if we are able to amend the constitution through the seeking of referendum.
Okay, just like what Elijah said, he said it's not in our constitution.
Check it there.
The separatists going about all these agitations are not doing it within the ambit of the law.
I beg to disagree with you.
Okay.
To be quite honest with you, there's nothing sacrosanct about Nigeria. The sacrosanctity of Nigeria is not, there's no place. Mr. Mike, let me tell you this. There's a UN charter that talks about self-determination.
Okay.
Nigerian government willingly became a signatory of that charter, not by coercion. Nobody compared them. So if you must abide, if you must be a signatory to that bilateral agreement, you must comply with all the tenets of the constitution. So when people agitate, when people talk about self-determination, not even Mr. President have the right to start hounding people, to start arresting people, to start intimidating people, to start killing people. As long as it's being done within the ambits of the law. And so a Sunday boy can wake up like he's doing today and say he wants Oduduwa's republic. As long as he's doing within the ambits of the law, you have no right to intimidate him, to arrest him. I think what the government needed to do is to go and address the root causes of this agitation, instead of vilifying anybody that talks about self-determination. Because we have all seen that federal government is holding Nigeria in serious bondage. It is evident that we have over 68 items on exclusive legislative list, and issues that ordinarily should be addressed, handled by even local government, state government, the federal government will sit on it. The issue of security, the issue of power generation, the issue of education, the oil sector. All these things should be removed from exclusive legislative lists. Let federal government and state government have concurrent jurisdiction over those things. Because when you see people agitating,
Okay.
there is a reason that why they are agitating. Because a situation where the government will promote mediocrity above meritocracy. A situation where even you who is even supposed to protect the law, you have taken an oath of allegiance, you are taking an oath to protect even the constitution. You'll be doing things that will make you to look as if you are even circumventing that same constitution. For instance, we have federal character as part of our constitution. And what federal character says that when you give position, it must reflect geographical spread. I must do it in such a way that it is devoid of ethnic bias. I'm saying this particularly because this agitation we are seeing from the southeast, I'm not happy that life is being wasted unnecessarily. And the way the southeasterners are handling it, because as a result of trying to fight back, they are not even handling it in a very matured manner. At the end of the day, we are seeing unnecessary waste of life. What would it not have been better if federal government had convened a sovereign national conference and said, let us deliberate on this constitution? Because we never had any constitution. It was the military that forced that constitution on us. And if you go to the preamble of that constitution, it tells you that we, the people of Nigeria, have agreed. And that is fallacy. It's fallacious. There was never a time Nigerians came on a round table, whether by any means, to agree that we are writing any constitution. We are seeing this government tried to, through the back door, smuggle some certain things into the constitution just to give the Fulani a heritage in Nigeria. We are seeing the failed effort of Ruga. All attention is now geared towards livestock transformation plan. What I'm trying to say in essence is, let the government call for a sovereign national conference. Let us unbundle this constitution. Let us give the states and local government more responsibility. Because until you do that, we continue to see this agitation. Because it's unfortunate that even people who are known to be proponents of true federalism, if they find their way into Asu Rock, they're unlikely going to, in most cases, they jettison that idea. You don't see them speak about it anymore. The reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because there is enormous power accorded to that office of Mr. President, the Vice President, the Governor, the Deputy Governor, as the case may be, by the Constitution. And nobody who assumed that office want to lose that power.
All right, quickly to you, Mr. Elijah. The typical response of the Nigerian government over the years towards separatists is to brand them or tag them troublemakers. And so many times you see the government clamping down on protesters, clamping down on these agitators. Sometimes they send their law enforcement agencies to get them arrested, manhandle them, and all sorts of maltreatment or ill-treatment. Now, what has this administration done to make sure peace is restored, to make sure this is settled?
Nothing is being done differently by this government. And I still stand to be corrected on the point of the illegality of pronouncement of a sovereign nation out of Nigeria. Let me just read a brief part of what the Constitution says.
Okay.
In Article 2, it says, under the Nigerian Constitution, no part of Nigeria has the power to form its own independent government or secede from the country. In fact, the word secede does not appear in the Constitution. Let me read one or two lines again. The nearest answer to this, as I was said earlier, was in Article 2 of the Constitution, which states that Nigeria is one indivisible and indissoluble sovereign state to be known by the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I know what that means. The only way to legally grant such secession is through referendum. And the word secede does not appear in our Constitution. Let's be realistic here. Forget about sentiment. Every agitation is a product of expectation that fails, which led to frustration.
And has this administration failed Nigerians?
Every previous administration in Nigeria has failed to address the issue. We are ruling ourselves through sentiment. We are ruling ourselves like a family where you promote one interest above the other. Yes, of course, as I'm here stated, I'm a typical Yoruba man who is not satisfied with most of the happenings under this government. But as it was in the beginning, so is it is today.
But do you know the clamor for secession under this administration is quite different from others?
As we are increasing,
Mm-hmm.
in our numerical strength, so the diversity and the strength of our crisis increases. This government has not done anything better or worse than the previous one.
And should that be the reason
It
for
shouldn't
the failure?
have been in the first place. But the point I am making, Mike, is that as a leader,
Okay.
you should understand the situation of the country. You should have your plans in place on how to better the lives of the people that you met them. But unfortunately, this is how we have been ruling ourselves. This entity called Nigeria, it is criminal. It is illegal. So every form of illegality must be addressed according to the recommendation of the Constitution.
And why is this administration not making that move? Why is the
It is to their to the best of their knowledge.
to the best of their knowledge?
They are not helping us.
Okay.
They are there for their own primordial interest. That is why they never supported the referendum. That's why they never supported the implementation of the confab. That's why they never mentioned anything about restructuring, which they promised us in 2015 during the electionary campaign.
Yeah.
So that's why I said there's nothing being done differently. They are just using us as tools. Regardless of what becomes of us, who will die, we die. They care less about it. Who will run away, we run away. They care less about it. Our economy is in a bad state. The country is more divided, if you care to hear the truth. I am not in support of any government. The country is more divided under this present administration than the previous ones. Go and check the data through parochialism and nepotism. But here we are today. What do? We need to be speaking constantly to the power. We need to voice our opinion to the world to know that we are not satisfied with the way we are being ruled. If this will help in enforcing the calling for referendum by the international body that we belongs to, like EU, AU, whatever, so that we can peacefully divide ourselves, so that whoever that want to stand to fight the cause of his people will not die in that cause.
Yeah,
what killed Kensaruiwa?
Okay.
Why was Awolowo pronounced to have committed treason and felony? What ends Ojuku's agitation? Why was Abiola arrested, detained, and probably as alleged died in detention? Because he pronounced himself as president against the provision of the Constitution. Whereas he knew he won, you and I, Mr. Mike too, knew he won the election. But because he acted against the Constitution, so his case wasn't different.
Now quickly to you, Matthew. These are vital issues we need to really look into. If care is not taken, things may get out of hand. Now, why has this administration, don't let me even use administration, the president failed to address this situation?
Before I respond to that, permit me to vehemently disagree with my friend. Because I could remember when Ibori had an issue with Nigerian government. He ran to Dubai.
Okay.
British government demanded for him. And British government said, this man is a citizen of Britain because he chose and he went there, he was given green card. He had no option because Britain and United Arab Emirates had a extradition treaty. He was extradited to Britain, he was prosecuted. Why have I brought out this analogy? Because that man willingly submitted his sovereignty to British government.
Okay.
The same way a manner Nigerian government is a signatory to a UN charter that talks about self-determination. So on that basis, the government, if they don't want to see anything agitation or they don't want to see anything self-determination, if they want to criminalize it, the government should back out from that treaty and withdraw their signature so that we know that we are not a signatory to that charter. Having said that, if you look at the reason this government is not addressing the
situation on ground
criteria of agitation,
okay,
I think the government itself is the one that created the agitation. Because my friend have acknowledged that the agitation, the Nigeria polarizing have increased under this administration, which I totally agree with him anyway. The reason they are not addressing it because the crisis we are seeing, the agitation we are seeing is a reflection of their own approach to governance. I'm not saying because I want to vilify the government. I'm not saying because I'm not a pro any secessionist group, group. But I'm saying it because if you don't do things the right way, it will have consequence. The consequence is what we are seeing. Somebody will justify to come and say, okay, since you have refused to recognize my own geographical zone in terms of giving a particular position, I want to secede from this country. It's a cogent reason.
Okay.
The person may be doing it willfully. That is, the person may be willfully doing it,
okay,
but he just use that as an excuse. It's a good excuse. And again, I think another reason, because this government, I don't know why, it's not limited to this government anyway. Nigerian government generally, the high-handedness of our security agencies, they don't address it. That even my friend have alluded to the fact that this government, this country are polarized more under this present administration. And the fault lines of our various fault lines is even being elevated by this government. Like as I was talking about the excesses of our security agencies, it is part of the problem we are having. We are seeing instances where there will be a strategic killing, there will be intimidation. At the end of the day, it will not be investigated and people will not be brought to justice. It is giving rise to more agitation. I will not be surprised if tomorrow we see another answers in a more monumental dimension. Because people were killed as we speak, the army back out of that panel, Lagos panel, and nobody is questioning the authority. So the government itself is the architect of the crisis. That perhaps is the reason they are not addressing it.
All right, let's quickly go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about insecurity in the country. You're welcome back. The National Security Advisor, in person of Babagana Mungono, yesterday told Nigerians that the president has ordered the head of service chiefs to fish out the criminals in Nigeria, I mean the insurgents. Let's see how this will go. If it's not a mere statement, being said by the president this time around. Elijah, there is another word from the president, and which we expect something spectacular this time around. How do you see this word? Babagana Muguna said it. Is the National Security Advisor, which I believe is a spokesperson to the president too.
Is this a reason for us to rejoice? That the president gave an order? How many times has order been given to the head of securities in Nigeria that nothing eventually came out of it? Whatever the presidency has issued as an order to the NSA, it doesn't seem to make any difference to me. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria has eaten so deep into our fabrics that if not almost impossible, it is going to be extremely difficult to have overcome it. Why am I saying this? Nigeria as a nation has failed when it comes to security. We have failed in the sense that we are not being proactive enough. We are not addressing security issues as if it is anything near threat to us. Whereas it has threatened us beyond measure. Lately, apart from Nigerians seeking asylum or seeking for refugee camp in neighboring countries of northern Cameroon, Niger Republic, Chad Republic, the people of Yewa North of Ogun State in Southwest has been added to the list by seeking refuge in Benin Republic. Then what order are they giving? If a governor convoy could be addressed, could be attacked, time without number, I'm talking of Babagana Zulum, he has been attacked up to 7 times. Most of the places he used to visit with his convoy on ground, he could no longer go there.
As the Borno State governor.
Borno State governor.
Okay.
So he has to go on air. Recently, you know what happened to Samuel Otom, because it's irregular voice that speaks against the government when it comes to insincerity on security matters. He was also attacked. He has to run for about some kilometers at 59. You can imagine. So if a governor has up to 30 security personnel in his convoy could be attacked, what becomes of you and me? What becomes of Mr. Mike and the crew in the house? You drive your car alone by yourself to wherever you are going. Are you safe? So presently, we're in a serious trouble as far as security is concerned. In fact, I must tell you, the order given by the president is nothing near to solution as far as security is concerned. We need to pronounce these criminal elements as terrorizing our country, and also seek help from international community. Let us go out there and hire forces outside the country to provide a backup and intelligence for us, and as well get more sophisticated equipment that will help us to prosecute the war and get over it.
And this is what we've been saying every day, going out there to seek international support. But it seems Nigerian government...
Mike, don't bother yourself. The government, this government, let me say, they are stupidly feeling too big to ask for help on what they cannot do. Once I know I don't understand a particular thing in my phone, and I know Mr. Mike can help fix it better, why am I ashamed of going to him to say, Mr. Mike, I need your help, I have an issue with my phone? Same goes with us in terms of insecurity. See, I see no reason why Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari is shying away from pronouncing his tribe, the Fulani people, the militias among them who are terrorizing us in the name of being a Hada, and causing problems in the nation. Why can't you pronounce them criminals? Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, I was never for once being his admirer. But when there was crisis in Ekiti State, he declared state of emergency there. Why can't same measure be applied in Zamfara State, in Katsina State, his hometown? He was there. They kidnapped people there. Why can't same measure be put in place in Niger State? Why not almost in the whole northeast declare state of emergency? But here we are today discussing banditry, kidnapping, killing, and one as highly respected personality like Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, who is now saying that we should not even demonize the bandits, that they are not criminals. You could see that we're in a serious problem here. But I want to submit by saying that our own destiny is in our hands. The National Security Advisor is just deceiving us. At some point, a man came up to say we should try and defend ourselves, whereas our soldiers are being killed on daily basis. I don't want to mention figures and names here. They are being killed on daily basis. fighting insecurity, banditry and kidnapping almost everywhere in the country. The government is not saying anything about it. They are not encouraging them. And you are now saying that Mr. Mike, who doesn't have a pumping action, should go out and defend himself in face of a man carrying LPG. Why are we deceiving ourselves? The order does not work, Mr. Mike. Samuel Orton of Benue State was attacked. They said they should go and launch an investigation. Miyetti came up to say, we are the one that attacked, we are responsible. Why are they seeking for investigation instead of going after those people and arrest them?
They later debunked that. It was Funam, right? Fulani, some nationality movement. And they said they acted on behalf of millions of Fulanis in 15 countries. So the Miyetti debunked that. Now, quickly.
It is our trademark to say one thing in the morning and deny it in the evening. So don't be bothered with that one.
Wow.
Don't be bothered with that
one. Wow. Now, there is an order given by the president to the military, to the service chiefs, to kill the bandits and their sponsors. Now we have someone like Gumi, just as Elijah has pointed out, working freely in the country, dialoguing with the bandits. Don't you think something is wrong somewhere? And how do you think a person like Gumi will be captured by the Nigerian military? Is it possible, or does it mean Gumi has
immunity is untouchable?
Immunity or kind of relationship, bosom relationship with the president that is so superior that it can't be trapped?
That relationship becomes immunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike. For me, what is coming from the National Security Advisor in President Mungunu is unfortunate. Because if they want to address the plethora of security challenges in Nigeria, they know the right thing to do. And if you look at the challenges of security, it points to one direction. And what is that direction? Full enhancement. And this Gumi have helped us to demystify who the bandits are. You see, these are full enhancement who claim that their cars have been rustled. They now see it as a justification to take to arm. Is now advocating amnesty for them, which is quite unfortunate. There are some other things he have said that even accusing even Nigerian military that the Christians among the military are the one killing bandits, which the military have adequately responded and refuted. But I think the military would have gone beyond that to hold it to account and possibly arrest and prosecute him. Because for me, that statement is too weighty. Not just being weighty, is slander.
And highly divisible on us.
It has, to a great extent, damaged their image. And if such issue is not properly managed, it could trigger crisis in Nigeria, knowing the sensitivity of religion in Nigeria, especially when it comes to Christianity and Islam. Having said that, if you want to resolve the crisis in Nigeria, the right thing to do is to unbundle the security arrangement. This command and control that is from Abuja alone is not helping any issue. How can Mr. President be telling the governor to go and police forests in their domain? And here we see Ekiti State, Ogun State, Oyo State,
Lagos.
I may not even include Lagos,
not
forming Amateku. And the federal government through Nigerian police force have vehemently refused to allow them bear arms. I will continue seeing the operational vehicles being attacked, bombed by suspected Fulani herdsmen. So the right thing to do is to allow the security to be managed by states. Until you do that, you are not solving the problem of insecurity. The other time, Wakili, who was arrested by OPC members. They took it to the station. The 3 persons that brought it to the station were detained. As we speak, they have been charged for murder. They are under prosecution. I'm not saying anybody should go and commit crime. What I'm trying to say is the nature, the way the country is being managed, it looks as if you are promoting one ethnicity above the other. We have seen all effort of this government in trying to give, like I've said before, Fulani herdsmen a heritage in this country. We are seeing how Ruga attempt to do Ruga have failed. There's nothing that forbids a Fulani man to go to Delta State, to come to Ogun State, or any other place for that matter. Approach any landowner, whether for lease or for outright sale. If you need credit facility to build your ranch, because ranch is the way to go, there's no argument about that. You approach a financial institution, they build it. If you are partnering with the government and the government is building it, then at the end of the day, the government will leverage on the rent you are paying. But a situation where you want to compare Nigeria as an entity, that you must give us land for ranching. Who does that? I don't think it's obtainable anywhere in the world. It is on record, like my friend has alluded to, that Fulani herdsmen, they are known all over the world as not all Fulani. Let me not demoralize all the Fulani. They are, most of them are known to be terror organizations, terror members of terrorist organizations.
It is common with them, and they are committed to that.
They are committed to that.
The Global Terrorism Index put Fulani herdsmen as the fourth most dangerous terror organization in the world. So what I was saying here,
Elijah, one analyst said something some days ago. I watched the program. I don't want to mention the name of the channel, and he said we still see Fulani herders or the killer herders as normal thing. That it's not just a Fulani thing or herders thing. Presently, it has gone beyond that. That some of these people who tag as Fulani herdsmen are Boko Haram members. Do you see it that way?
They work hands in hand. In one of the kidnapping in Niger State, the Boko Haram people do approach the bandits to kidnap people and give to them in exchange of some material things. And once that accord is being solid among them, so how do you differentiate between bandits and Boko Haram? So they work hands in hand.
There's a synergy.
There's a synergy between them. They relate with one another. A particular group of Boko Haram will demand people from the bandit, they deliver to them. Another group will demand, we deliver to them. See, the mess is just too obvious.
And how do we get out of this mess?
To get out of this mess is one, for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to declare banditry, Boko Haram, as a terrorist group and seek for help from international communities. They will provide a backup intelligence for us.
We should drop our ego.
Drop all this egocentric attitude cannot take us anywhere. We should just pronounce them as criminal, the one we know that we are fighting against terror. And once we ask for their help, they will come to our aid, and will be. It might not be as quick as we expected, but the fact then remains that we are going to overcome them, because it's going to be collective forces and efforts from forces of different nations and diverse of intelligence gathering to point to their locations. Even as we speak today, there are some of their hideouts that is well known to us. But the question remains, Mr. Mike, why can't we go for them? Why can't we?
That's a big question.
Finish up with these people all at once. See what the Chadian troops did. They chased them out of the Chadian territory they enter into our own territory here. And our soldiers were hailing them in the video. We're hailing Chadian soldiers. Are they as strong as us? No. But because we are not sincere, we politicize every matters in our land.
Do you have anything to say concerning that before we go?
Honestly speaking, Nigeria is not yet serious. If they are serious, this thing is not rocket science. They know what to do. You see, American government under Donald Trump killed that military diplomat in Iraq. That's Soleimani, using drone. I've read in the paper yesterday how somebody used drone in Nigeria here to trace somebody who stole his laptop. He invited the police. They went to the place where the drone captured the thief, where he entered inside a kiosk, and they were able to arrest and recover the laptop. So what I'm trying to say in essence is drive this process through technology. And we have the resources. A situation where in 2018, in the federal government in collaboration with state government released $1 billion from SS crude account for purpose of purchasing arms and ammunition, out of which they are paid for those 12 Tucano jets. So in a nutshell, let the federal government leverage on technology to drive the process of the security challenges.
And some drones too that will be delivered very soon.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. I really appreciate you for coming on board. And on this note, we say goodbye to you on today's edition of Pundit. Join us next time on the same platform. I remain Michael. Definitely, you can join us on our social media and those displayed on the screen. You can join me on Facebook at Michael Timothy Adekuna, and on Instagram at Michael Timothy. Thanks for watching. Bye.